bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate.
Right,
let him talk. Let him talk.
Which doesn't have like a cure, but there's like certain treatments you can use to like lower its effects, right? We don't really have like a cure for cancer. But would you say that somebody like shouldn't be able to get like chemotherapy if they need it for cancer treatment because it's like natural to like have cancer if it results that way?
So the appeal to nature thing that you're trying to go for me. I'm not a holistic person. I'm quite frankly,
he's highlighting how your argument's a naturalistic fallacy. That just because it happens in nature does not mean that it's something we can't interfere with.
Well, a naturalistic fallacy is slightly different. It's appeal to nature.
We can't. There's something we can do and to interfere with it. We have the ability to be able to utilize contraceptives. There is abortions. There are abortion solutions prior to or just after sex. You got the plan.
51% of abortions are due to failed contraceptive, and that's a very privileged opinion. That just everyone has access to contraceptives that will always work.
No, I
can kind of get this. I can actually attest to that. Out of the way too.
My youngest son
I don't care about your anecdotal evidence.
No, I can verify that for you. My youngest son was a failure of contraception, not only a condom, but also my wife's birth control. My youngest son was that. However, the thing is that I participated in sex. Okay, I had to take responsibility for those actions.
All right? Do you understand the fact that getting an abortion is still taking responsibility? It's just taking responsibility in a way that you do not personally align with.
Well, here's the thing. Are you guys? It's like I showed you where I was willing to compromise on abortion, where those statutes were. Where are you guys willing to compromise? That's the thing about the debates. The debate thing. We're supposed to
compromise over the rights to my body. Like, are you high?
No, I'm not high. I'm just asking you because this is a very hot button subject.
Wait, we're just now. We were jumping from like argument to argument now, and now you're just trying to make like some remedy.
Well, you jumped into polio. You tried to jump into polio and cancer on appeal to nature, and I'm told you that
right. I can prevent your argument and sort of like premises. We can say like X is natural, therefore X is good, right? That's kind of what like your argument is. P therefore Q. Yeah, that's literally what you said.
That's the argument I'm making.
Yeah, that's literally what your premise is. You were jumping around from argument to argument.
That's ridiculous. See, this is why I don't like these formats where it's like 3 against 1. You guys are pseudo intellectuals trying to guess what
that's fine, right? You can throw insults. The reason why you're trying to say this isn't your argument is because you are jumping from argument to argument, right?
You jumped to cancer and polio.
Can I finish a statement?
So
we were using like the causal obligation argument, which I can like attack that separately using like principal distinctions, and then we were kind of jumping to like this appeal to nature. That since this is a natural means of occurrences, therefore not to be followed. Like these are two separate arguments that we're kind of like jumping between, which I feel like is why you can kind of stand on this ground that this isn't like the argument you were making because you're kind of just like flip flopping.
Well, you guys. The initial thing I was going on was the whole thing for the Supreme Court. You guys dragged me into the whole abortion subject.
Like, if you have a discussion with Josh, Jeff and I can be quiet. If you just want to do a one-on-one, like, just answer his question.
I'll shut my mouth.
Well, like I said, it's not because the whole thing that X is natural, X is good. I wasn't trying to base anything off of that. The whole thing I was saying is that X is preventable if you don't take it, and if you don't take the proper precautions, X can lead to Y. Okay.
Wait, that's just a descriptive claim though. There's a difference between saying X causes Y and then saying X causes Y, therefore an obligation has been created as a result of X causing Y. I can give you like a very easy example. And I know you're just gonna like add more premises, but like I could say for an example, like someone like smokes for 20 years. We know, and I'm sure this person probably knows, they can get like lung cancer as a result, right? But this person acknowledging the risk not taking the preventative measures of like just not smoking and then like getting this cancer doesn't like prevent the fact that this person should be able to like receive treatment. Like this just isn't like a sound argument like intuitively whatsoever.
And like I said, I can agree on that. And I think that in the immediate hours and days and up to the couple of weeks, you know, the whole heartbeat bill kind of thing like that, I can agree with that. You have 6 weeks to be able to take precautions to be able to prevent any pregnancy. I would be.
I just gave you an analogy where it was 20 years that you could prevent it. Like in this analogy, right? You're saying in like 6 weeks is too much. I gave you an analogy where this person could prevent it for any time for 20 years. They can stop smoking, right? Would this person be able to like seek treatment after these 20 years? Like this just doesn't seem like this is like attacking my argument in any way.
I'm saying is like the whole thing about pregnancy is completely preventable, and that's you're just being responsible.
That's not. Are you just not going to respond to what I'm saying? You're just repeating your thesis.
I'm saying that the people that have cancer or something like that, if they can get treatment for their cancer, get treatment for your cancer. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be painless or anything like that.
Yes, we can say the same thing about abortion, right? I want to say like abortion's cheap, like they could run out like $1,400, I think. But all that is
the subsidized cost.
It is not. The government does not subsidize the cost of abortion unless it is due to the life of the mother.
Yeah, all I'm saying here, and it doesn't really feel like you've critiqued my argument in any way, but causing some sort of state of affairs doesn't mean that you have an obligation to maintain the state of affairs, right? That's all I'm trying to show with these like analogies, and it doesn't show you have any like, it doesn't seem like you have any like critique of that stance.
Look, causing something you should be obligated to. I'm just trying to track how you're using these analogies properly. Where you're saying, all right, I was smoking for 20 years. I got cancer. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be obligated to take care of myself because I caused it myself.
Yeah, you caused the state of affairs, right? Your argument is you caused X state of affairs, therefore you have an obligation to maintain X state of affairs. So I gave an analogy where you caused X state of affairs. Well, you gave another qualifier. I think that you're like generally there's a qualifier given that you like are like knowledgeable of some risk given, right? So you cause some state of affairs, you are knowledgeable of the risk that you could cause X state of affairs, therefore you have some sort of obligation to X state of affairs. So I gave you an analogy where the two premises are still true, and it seems like if the two premises are still true and the premises entail the conclusion, in this analogy the premises would also have to entail the conclusion because the same two premises apply. So you just be special pleading.
So what you're talking about is something that takes 20 years to come to fruition, and life in and of itself comes in 9 months. All right.
Can you show that creates a principal distinction?
What was that?
Wait, you can like show any differences between what I'm saying, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that there's like a difference in like moral claims, right? Can you show like this timing difference creates like a difference in moral claims?
Well, you're saying that cancer takes about 20 years to be able to form. You're using an example where cancer takes 20 years to come into fruition after years of irresponsible smoking. And then you have an infinitely shorter timeline when it comes to making life. You have 9 months till from time of conception to the time of fruition. That's it. So your timeline's going to, that's why you're going to have shorter time windows to be able to do things about it.
Yeah, buddy, you just repeated the thesis. You didn't give any reasoning for why it matters. You literally just repeated your statement. You still haven't shown this is relevant. And it seems like using your qualifiers, right? Like if we're just going off of like negligence, it seems, right, that like causing the state of affairs is like negligent in some way. It seems like having 20 years to prevent it is like more negligent than having like 9 months.
Oh yeah, but you should be both entitled to treatments, but your treatment time should be are going to be vastly different.
What's
being able to, like I said, I'm willing to say at 6 weeks, make sure that you're medically taken care of, get things checked out. take
You
care
Wait,
of things.
why does
realize
it?
that it's literally like 2 weeks past a missed period.
But people are aware of the times that they have sex, right? They should be, at least having enough personal
Right, but
responsibility to know.
if someone is on birth control and doesn't think they're pregnant and has irregular periods, like that's such a short window. And it actually even increases abortions. We can see that in Texas, that because women have such a short time to make the decision, they're erring on the side of caution and going and having an abortion because they're afraid they'll want one when they don't have access to it.
Like I said, I'm fine with it. If you want to be able to do that within that 6-week time frame, I'm fine with that. That's before a lot of conscious life starts.
Why?
So here's the question that I asked for you. What is this magical thing about its heart beating that turns it into a life? Because a heartbeat is something a baby needs, but it's not something that a baby is.
The heartbeat is where it starts gaining its own organs, its own functions and whatnot. Now, mind you, it shares a digestive tract with the mother, and it shares blood systems with the mother. But in and of itself, it does have its own independent circulatory system. It starts having those neurons start firing. It starts being not
At
so much
6 weeks, it is the size of a grain of rice.
Just
I would
because
also
it's small
add,
doesn't make it not alive.
I would
It
also
is-
add there's
it is
nothing
things
independent.
Things that you just said are not true. Like it doesn't have a fully functioning circulatory system because there's not a body there. There's not a fully developed body.
It does have if it's got a heart, it's got a circulatory system. It's starting to flow. It's starting to flow fluids.
Like you realize it's not like a 4-chambered muscular structure. It's just an electrical pulse.
So where would you guys draw the line on abortion?
At birth.
Up to 9 months.
Yes.
That seems like the most immoral thing I've ever heard.
Why?
Why? Because at birth, it is capable of life. It is
Why?
capable of living separately from its mother.
Yeah, but it's not about what it's capable of doing. It's about what it is doing. And here's what I was going to say when you were talking about its independent functions. There's nothing independent about it. If you remove a fetus from a mother's womb before it is ready to be its own independent human living being, then it is going to die. It can't survive more than a few minutes, especially at this post 6-week march up until like the 3rd trimester that you're talking about. That's definitely when it's a life. You know, the fact of the matter is whether or not it can survive outside of the womb, whether or not it can survive out of the womb is completely irrelevant. Whether or not it is surviving outside of the womb is what's important.
Like I said, my son was born at my second youngest son was born at 23 weeks.
Great.
So at 23 weeks,
can every baby survive at 23 weeks?
I'm sure
not
we have a
necessarily,
lot of
but
health issues.
there are plenty of babies that survive at the 23-week point.
Can every baby survive at 23 weeks?
There's not that many. It's actually a medical anomaly because at 24 weeks you have about a 60% survival rate.
Exactly. That's the important thing. Unless every fetus can survive being born at 23 weeks, then all it is a medical anomaly. It's something to take into account, but it's not this is proof that your argument is invalid.
That's it. And this is why, and when you were talking about up to 9 months, that's why it is so unpalatable to be able to make it law, to be able to make it a constitutional right, is that there are way more people that find it distasteful and unpalatable and quite frankly, evil and immoral.
They're called extremists.
Do you think that women go in at 35 weeks, just wake up and are like, oh shit, I forgot to go get that abortion?
At that point in time, you had every opportunity.
That's not a question.
Do you think that happens? My question is, do you think that happens?
Do you think that happens? I guarantee there are people that do it just for the sheer clout of saying that they did it.
Oh my
No.
God. You are asinine.
Wait,
Dude.
can you give a wait? I do want a source for this, right? You're making a claim that this occurs. Can you give like a source for that?
All I'm saying is
Wait,
that
no,
the reason why
don't pivot. Yes or no? Wait, I'm not just
What?
gonna let you pivot. Do you have like a source for that or no?
Do I have a what?
Do you
A
have any
source.
source for this claim or no?
My source is
Source
that
of-
I made it the fuck up.
The one person. There have been plenty of people that have been put on interviews that said that they would do it just for the sheer clout of it.
Who?
But
Okay, then
I'm not gonna get into it because, like I said, these women wouldn't. They probably wouldn't do it. They probably wouldn't get pregnant.
Then you need to concede that your point is invalid.
Invalid.
But you're saying at 40 weeks
Thank
they
you.
should be able to get abortions.
What I'm saying is, okay, here's the deal. This has been talked about extensively, so this is not something you can ignore. The main reason for third trimester abortions in almost every single case is because of medical reasons, because either the fetuses, and we'll call it a fetus in this instance because it's not going to be carried to term, the fetus's life is at stake or the mother's life is at stake, or there are health anomalies that it's just the smarter option. So the reason why I say it should be allowed all the way up until birth is because, number one, I don't believe it's a life. And number two, we need to protect those reasons so that they don't need to duck around the laws in order to receive the health care that they deserve.
But I already conceded to the point of abortion saying for life of the mother I already conceded to that point.
Yeah, but if you're talking about the
third trimester abortions, which again, like abortion isn't a term used in the third trimester. He's talking about terminations later in pregnancy. Someone who is pregnant and makes it to the third trimester has expected to carry that to term, because abortion is designed to opt someone out of pregnancy. And to just mischaracterize and kind of demonize people who have the capacity for pregnancy to say that they would carry a pregnancy to the 35th, 38th week and actually terminate, it is just asinine. And I did hear your transphobic comment there. Like, maybe you should stick with one lane of misogyny and not try and bring transphobia in at the same time.
Oh, look, I don't care what you call me. Like I said, I could care less. But
obviously. You don't care that you're a bigot.
Nope. I guarantee I probably received more racial hate than any of you guys combined.
I didn't say anything about race.
I didn't say anything about race, but I'll tell you, I'll tell you what. I went 20 years being called a bean in like central Indiana.
You can't be a bigot because you just said a transphobic comment. I said women are able to have children. Can men get pregnant?
No, absolutely not.
See, now you are completely ignoring the trans community, because trans men can get pregnant. They do have the capacity for pregnancy. So yes, you are completely ignoring someone else's experience. I
would prefer to keep the, if trans community is in there, they are trans men, trans women. I don't recognize their capacity for life. It's not that I don't recognize that they are people and stuff like that, but they are their own people. There are men, there are women, there are trans women, there are trans men, and
But you saying that men can't get pregnant, you are ignoring the fact that trans men can get pregnant. And trans men are different. These are people who do experience sexual violence at a much proportionally higher rate than other people because of attitudes like yours.
I'm just saying that trans men are different from actual biological men.
That's not a term. It's a different biology. That's not a term, right? The term would just be like a male. A biological man isn't a thing because like gender isn't determined by like biological.
A biological man is not capable of.
That's not a thing. Once again, biological man is not a term because your biology doesn't determine your gender. So I should point that out.
those individuals with X and single X, single Y chromosomes are not capable of getting pregnant.
There are plenty of people who don't have the, like, that to me shows that you do not understand chromosomes, because you can have an X and a Y chromosome, and the thing that determines your genitals is called the SRY gene, and that can literally jump from the Y chromosome to the X chromosome, and you will be born with female genitalia. So you can be a female and have XY chromosomal structure. You can be male and have XX chromosomal structure.
And that would be what, kind of like along the lines of like hermaphroditic people?
No.
So I'm just saying
it's also called intersex. But no, that is not an intersex person.
I'm saying that people born biologically as men that still retain their male genitalia are incapable of carrying children.
Right. So you can say males cannot get pregnant, but men can get pregnant.
All right. Males can't get pregnant.
Right.
I find the whole the whole gender construct thing ridiculous, honestly.
Well, it's because you're not educated on it.
And thus we found out his worldview was tunnel visioned.
So I have to go, you guys. I was supposed to go 5 minutes ago, so I'm just going to go ahead and end it here. But thank you, Josh. Thank you, Jeff. Always a pleasure.
I'm so fucking cute, bitch. I'm so fucking cute.